We have happy hour with Chris. Before it's coffee with Chris. Because of the lockup, the hunker down, we are going to be doing happy hour. So hopefully you guys are having a great Friday. I got my whiskey and Coke. Today we're going to be going over the word of the day, talk about some books I'm reading, and also come to you guys with a different quiz. I just thought of that today. I have 3 scenarios of which I will randomly pick one, and then you need to go through ACSM risk stratification, stratify them. How many risks do they have? Are they low, moderate, or high? And then be able to design a workout for them. So when I first started training, I worked at a place called Renaissance Club Sport, and this is one of the early 2005, 2006. So this was before LastPass, anything along those lines today. So you really didn't have an opportunity to train someone just on the fly. And remember, most personal trainers, they don't have a background. They've never trained anyone before. They get certified to learn how to become a better heart surgeon, patient to patient. That wouldn't be the most optimal learning environment, right? Okay, great. I killed someone. I learned not to do that now. So we don't want to do that. But when I started training, what was unique is, one, the service side of stuff. So we are big into service right now. But I really got a lot of the service ideas from Renaissance. We had to memorize this card before we could even get hired. And we had to answer the phone. Hello, this is Chris, Renaissance Club Sport. I'd be delighted to help you. You have to say delighted. When they would audit you, if you didn't say delighted, you could get fired. When people would come up, your clients, if you didn't greet them with your hands behind your back and smile, within 10 feet, you could be written up. So then all these specific rules, and some people didn't like them, but I really respected it. It's like if you've ever been to a really nice hotel, 4 Seasons, you get a high-end service. People go there for that service. Most trainers are going to be sitting there on their phone, just bad posture, screwing around. They don't really care about the session. So when you go that extra 10, 20%, you're really going to separate yourself amongst your competition. Now remember, I don't think there's that much competition in the fitness industry. I think there's a lot of crappy trainers out there. You guys, though, you are significant because you're smart, you're educated, and you're gaining experience. So the reason I wanted to talk about Renaissance is because I think that this little exercise that I'm going to do with you guys is going to resemble that. So we would get to the front, the trainer's desk. And so then you come in and you'd have him sign the waiver. You'd pay his session, which was $60 at the time. And then you would take him through a workout. You would go and stretch first. Usually I would just walk. That was my warm up. And you would learn about him in that time frame of 3 to 4 minutes. I wouldn't do blood pressure, wouldn't do a movement screen, wouldn't do any of that stuff because he was a hotel guest. He just wanted to work out. So he's paying for that hour. He doesn't care about an assessment. So that's one of the cool things about ClassPass and what we do at Show Up Fitness is that the ability to be on the word of the day. We're going to go with obdurate. Where are you? There we go. Obdurate, which is O-B-D-U-R-A-T-E. Now you got it. Tender feelings. So it's stubbornly refusing to change one's decision. Obdurate. That is the word of the day. We're getting through a lot of these. Some books I'm currently reading. Those that are asking about anatomy books, I've shown you this one before. Atlas. This is going to be the combination of our text that we're designing right now. This was only $60. It goes pretty in depth though. And you're going to see, like, let's take a look at the lower limb, for example. When you get into this stuff, some of the vocabulary is not what you're used to. So let's look at maybe. So when you start getting not bad example, but when you start getting into some of the compartments, this is an anatomy book for physical therapists. Some of the words you may not be familiar with because they call like the pes asmarine, different parts of the foot that you may not be familiar with. So they have different nomenclature. So this is very advanced. We got to remember that I've been doing this for a while and I've gone through a lot of textbooks and I've worked with a lot of physical therapists. And this is extremely over my head. I'm not saying I'm 10 times smarter than you. Roman Empire stuff. So how to be a good leader and how to be a bad leader, bad emperor. These are 2 books that I would suggest to read. I always challenge trainers. You should be reading a book about fitness, a book about nutrition, and a book about some type of business related stuff when it comes to training. So always have at least 3 books on hand. That's just going to help you. If you get bored on one, you can move to the other. All right. So I didn't come prepared with post on the online internship. ACSM is American College of Sports Medicine, and that's going over the risk factors. So there are 8 risk factors that would make someone prone to coronary artery disease, and then you give them a stratification. So I want you guys to be able to train this person if it's appropriate. I'm not going to go over this case scenario right now. We're going to do it next time. So the factors, we have age, we have family history, we have smoking, obesity, we have blood lipid levels, blood glucose levels, smoking and being sedentary, and I think I got them all. Those are the 8. And then you have the negative one, which is going to be HDL. So I want you to be able to train this person. How many risks do they have? What stratification? And then I want you to be able to design a workout on the fly. So for example, I'm going to do the first one. This one would be for me. So you got to be able to, you guys see how you do it this one. All right, so we got a 46-year-old female. Blood pressure is 118/51, resting heart rate of 52. She gets dizzy regularly and has to sit down. LDLs are 88, HDLs are 62, total cholesterol of 185, runs 30 minutes 5 times a week for the past 5 months. So you should be able to grasp how many risks does she have. So her age, 46, not a risk factor. 118/51, not a risk factor for blood pressure, but it's a talking point. I'll talk to you here in a second. 52, it's called bradycardia. Less than 60 is brady, above 100 is tachy. Dizzy regularly, that's a sign and symptom. So she's automatically a high risk. I'm going to talk to her about that before I just say you're high risk though. Her mother would be a risk factor. That's her first one. She wants to lose belly fat. It doesn't give you her stratification. So on paper, I couldn't train her. I could do the assessment aspect that I did, but I could not take her through a workout. So what I want to ask her though is talk to me 50, 40. I start getting a little concerned. We're not doctors. When in doubt, refer out. But I would ask her just, when was the last time you went to the doctor to get that checked out? It's not uncommon for girls, and she did get dizzy a lot. I would just, go get yourself checked out. The fact that she is running 30 minutes 5 times a week for the last 5 months, that's a good sign. But she would technically be a high stratification. So my workout for her, what would I do? So I would go take her on the floor. I would do some foam rolling. That's just building a rapport. Then I would do some hip thrusts. And I would go into push-ups, and I would do some type of ab exercise. And I usually leave this pretty open because I'm going to determine based on our conversation. So if I find out she really likes obliques, for example, then I would do some bicycle kicks, but I would slow down the tempo. First set, right elbow, left arm, super, super, left leg, super, super slow. Hold, and then come back. And I would do that probably for 3 to 4 reps. And then the second group, I would do goblets into a pull-up, and I would spot her. Always ask new clients to spot by the waist while you lift up. She would work on the eccentric, 3 to 5 reps. And then I'll go into another ab-specific exercise because she said specifically she wants to lose belly fat. That's her goal. Even though you can't spot reduce, you're playing the game. So we have a hinge pattern, we have a squat pattern, depending on how well she does. And I'm guessing she has a little better cardiovascular capabilities because she has been running. She does 8 per her left side. I would have her do super slow calf raises. And that's going to help strengthen her gastrocnemius soleus and the Achilles tendon, because a lot of runners do not strengthen, they just do a lot of overuse. So I would do a step up, maybe into a bicep curl or shoulder press, something along those lines, maybe running back and forth. And I'm going to get engaged. Maybe I get a ball, and she does the step ups and put a band on her knees, and she's doing the sidewalks. I'm throwing the ball back and forth, making her feel engaged, making it fun, increasing her heart rates. And then at the end of that, I would go sit down and talk to her about training. So you told me your goals were to lose weight, and how did you like to work? You get them in a good sense. You make them get them real happy. And then you're going to sit them down and you're going to give them your suggestion. And depending on their schedule, I'm always going to suggest a bare minimum of 3 times per week. I'm going to start out with 6 and work my way down. They ask me how many times a week do you suggest? I'm always going to say 6, and their eyes kind of get big. And I tell them that I think it's hypocritical of myself to train you if I don't only set the expectations, because that's what I do. I would be a hypocrite because I train myself 6 times a week. So I would set that bar, would probably end on 3 times a week, give her my pricing, and then I would schedule the times for her to start training with me. If she does not sign up, she's going to go into my little black book, and I'm going to follow up with her. Every week, I'm going to check in. I'm going to see how she's doing, how she's feeling. Here's a cool new workout. Here's a fun program I saw. If you're around on Friday, I was going to go for a run. Maybe we could go for a run together. You got to get to that 8 points of contact, and that was her first one. So build that rapport. After 10 times, you're still going to keep her in your book. I'm still going to, guys, your homework is not to drink too much tonight. So let's take a good little sip of the whiskey. You need to be able to tell me how many wrists this 52-year-old male who has a BMI of 26, a 42-inch waist. His blood pressure is 145 over 82 with a resting heart rate of 80. He's a type 2 diabetic. His LDLs are 150, HDL is 42, total cholesterol 192. He's a smoker, and he just started working out with weights twice a week last month. He would like to get in better shape and not pass away like his father did at age 53. So give this guy a name, how many wrists does he have, what's his stratification, and then give me a workout. That's your guys' homework. Have a great weekend. Keep smiling. End.